Bettina Tismenia was accustomed for waiting, a former Miss Venezuela and Miss Universe runner-up, of course. She is now the wife of the Miami auto parts tycoon Herman Ortizmena. And at every restaurant she chose to grace with her presence. She was always greeted with reverence and whisked to the exact table she desired. Today she wanted the corner table on the terrace at Sip Sip. Her favorite lunch was at Harbor Island. She wanted to sit on one of the comfy orange canvas director's chairs and stare out of the gently lapping turquoise waiters while eating her Kale Kaiser salad. But there was a large noisy group taking up the entire terrace and they didn't seem in much hurry to leave. Bettina fumed as she glared at the tourists happily savoring their lunch in the sun. Look how tacky they were. The woman overly tanned, wrinkled and saggy, none of them properly lifted or buttocks. She felt like walking up to their table and handing out her dermatologist business cards. And the men were even worse, all dressed in old rumpled shirts and shorts, wearing those cheap straw hats sold at the trinket shop on Donmore Street. Why did such people have to come here? Feeling that she had been patient long enough, Bettina stormed into the kitchen. The fringe on her crocheted Pucci kaftan top shaking furiously as she made a beeline for the woman with a shock of pixie-cut blonde hair manning the main stove.
Julie, honey, what's the dealio? I've waited more than 15 minutes for my table.
Bettina signed to the owner of the restaurant.
Bettina, it's been one of those days. The party of 12 on the terrace showed up just before you did.
Julie replied as she handed off a bowl of spicy crunch chili to a waiting server.
But the terrace is your prime spot. Why on earth did you let those tourists take up all that space?
Well, that tourist in the red fishing cap is the Duke of Glencora. His party just voted over the Windermere that his royal wishman you see moored off the coast. Isn't it the most handsome sailboat you ever seen?
I'm not impressed by big boats.
Bettina huffed, although secretly she was rather impressed by people with big titles.
From the kitchen window, she surveyed the party assembled on the terrace with new eyes. These British types were such a strange breed. It was only then Bettina noticed three tall, well-built men in fitted white t-shirts and black Kevlar pants sitting at the adjacent table. The guys weren't eating but sat watchfully sipping glasses of seltzer water.
I assume that Duke security detail, they couldn't be more obvious. Don't they know that we're all billionaire here on Brilliant, and this is how we roll?
Bettina tutted.
Actually, those bodyguards belong to the Duke's special guest. They did a whole sweep of the restaurant before the party arrived. They even searched my walk-in freezer. See that Chinese fellow seated at the end of the table.
Bettina squinted through her direct stay sunglasses at the partly balding 70-something Asian man dressed in a nondescript white short-sleeved golf shirt and gray trousers.
Oh, I didn't even notice him. I am supposed to know who he is.
That's Alfred Xiang.
Julie said in a hushed tone.
Bettina giggled.
He looks like their chauffeur. Doesn't he look like that guy that used to drive Jane Wayman around in Falcon Crest?
Julie, who was trying to focus on searing a cut of tuna of perfection, shook her head with a tight-lipped smile.
From what I hear, that chauffeur is the most powerful man in Asia. What's his name again?
Alfred Xiang. He's Singaporean but lives mostly in England on a estate that half the size of Scotland, so I'm told. Well, I've never seen his name on any of the rich lists.
Bettina sniffed.
Bettina, I'm sure you know that there are people on this planet who are far too rich and powerful to ever appear in those